had some situations that I wanted to solve for myself, and so I found this group. Now, they are neuromuscular licensed massage therapists. Dentistry requires a physical skill, like most all of the application of different, shall we say, livelihoods require. And the skill that they require can actually be taxing on the human body. And when I say taxing, in other words, we get ourselves into a position to do that skill, whether it's at the computer as an IT guy, or it's a stand-up person in front of an audience speaking, consulting. It could be medicine where the physician is bending over, looking at one problem for hours at a time doing surgery. What I'm proposing is that when muscles become upset, they reveal themselves with pain. And it's all about what licensed massage therapy or neurosomatic licensed massage therapy can do to help the human body. I hope you'll enjoy this interview by a guy that was a pre-med, that's really a stand-up guy for his group, and he's actively doing something to change. I call it alternative medicine, but it's actually within the purview of very natural medicine.
The natural state of the body is health. And as you get things like root canals and other stressors, your body has to adapt to those and then get itself back to health. It always is trying to get back to health. And if it's not coming back to health, there's something stopping it. And that's what we call roadblocks. There's something preventing the natural healing mechanisms of your body from working properly. That the body is an amazing thing. You know, you have to understand how amazing, when you cut yourself and in a few days that cut is sewn up, and in a week or so you can't even tell that you ever cut yourself, right? It is an amazing structure. It can heal itself. So when you cut yourself and it's not, there's a problem, right? Either there's a clotting issue, right? Or the cut is so large you need to pull, you need a little help in pulling it back together so the natural processes can work, right? The stitches don't heal you. Right? The stitches just get your body in a position that it can do its natural process, right? And that's what we do. We look for those roadblocks. We look for those things that, oh, I was in this car accident and I've been in pain ever since. Oh, why? Why did the person sitting in the passenger seat next to you walk away and was fine, or was sore for 2 days and then is better? And you've been a chronic pain patient for 10 years after this fender bender, right? Well, because that was the straw that broke the camel's back. You pushed yourself beyond your body's ability to do that self-correcting mechanism. And there's something stopping you from getting back there. And we look for any of these structural roadblocks, right? Any of these things that are putting so much stress on your body that are stopping these natural processes from working. Just like your original formula, structure plus nutrition minus toxicity, right? So the structure part, by aligning the structure, there is what's called a physiologically efficient posture. There's a general range in which the body is supposed to be. No one's right shoulder is supposed to be 2 inches higher than their left shoulder. That's not how it's designed. There's a structure that we're looking to restore, and in doing so, it's not just the structure, right? It's the whole nervous system. All these nerves have to exit out of holes that are relatively small, right? And if you start misaligning these bones, those holes get even smaller. And the tolerances get much smaller. So much easier to pinch, much easier to, and doing things like even losing cervical curve in your neck has been shown to narrow the space in which the spinal cord goes down. And now a little tiny herniation in your neck is pushing on your cord where normally there'd be space there and it could push out and you'd not even know you had that herniation. All right, so restoring this structure puts the body in a position where it can adapt to the stresses of life, where it has a little bit of play. You know, you need that play because life is like that. You're going to get exposed to things. So you need that play, and restoring the structure puts them back in a position that they can do that. We are amazing at adapting. I mean, look at the environments in which people live. right? We have found amazing ways to adapt to our environment. And some of that is our internal environment, not just our external environment. And how you create that internal environment is your physical stresses, like you said, hunched over, working at the office, the nutrition that you put in, right? I have patients that in our intake form, we talk about, what's your diet like? That's one of the questions. And we have all the check boxes and everything for them to check off. And it's amazing people live on beer and pizza. Like, when you look at it, you're like, you're 65 years old. How the heck did you live on beer and pizza for this long, right? Because it can adapt, right? It really does have the ability to adapt or compensate, right? It compensates for these issues. But when we talk to patients about compensation, I'm like, when you go to work every day and you get a paycheck, what are they doing? They're compensating you for your work, right? There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for this compensation. The body can compensate. It's got this amazing ability. There's something called the righting reflex that is in your body that when you're upright really does all sorts of things on your body to keep your eyes and ears as level as they can. But if you're talking about shoulders like this, and I have to do this in order to compensate for that shoulder, because normally the head would follow the shoulder, and it has to pull back around like this. Sure, it can do it. It has the ability to do it. But now I've got this neck pain that's constantly there. And now I can't turn my head all the way, right? There's a price to pay for these compensations. So what do we do as the structural analysis and people that work with structure all the time? What we try to do is get the body as balanced as possible, so there's less compensation that it has to make just in normal daily living. So when you do get exposed to these outside stressors that we know are coming, you're going to trip and fall. Life is like that. It's going to happen. When these things happen, you're not already overloaded with compensation to where you get to a point where you break, right? It's like having the tree or the pencil already bent so far that all it takes is that little bit to snap it. If you start it here and it can bend one way or the other, it can adapt to stresses. But if you're already adapting as much as you can, it's really easy to break it.